Most of us have a favorite game. It's perhaps a game you grew up with, a game someone has told you is a must play, or just that random game you bought on a whim someday. Which game it is, most of us won't have in common, but one thing about our favorite games that we can share is that most of us felt like an emotional wreck when we finished them. You probably felt empty. This feeling is called postgame depression or the postgame blues. It is a unique type of pain, a pain that is confusing and a pain that leaves a lasting sting. A player may wonder why they're so torn up about completing a game, but it is completely normal to feel that way. Completing a game can be very emotional, especially if the game you played was a long experience. The more time you had to develop an attachment to the characters, the world and the story, having to let go of all of that causes pain. The screen fades to black, the credits start rolling down, and so do the tears on my face. You might be overfilled with a feeling of accomplishment, and others feel the sadness begin to set in right away. The credits stop and you are sent back to the title screen. You might feel like jumping right back into the game and go through all of it again, but deep inside, you know that the experience will never be the same anymore. Every mention or thought of the game is giving you a heartache. Knowing that you've seen all that there was to see can hurt a lot. Everyone dreads seeing the end. Oops. When finishing their favorite game, or even the last sentence of their favorite book, TV show or movie. These post-game blues, or as the book community calls them, book hangovers, might feel endless. You were hit with a sense of, what now? How will I be able to just move on? Well, you might not have to move on just yet. For some, seeking comfort in new things works wonders. Get lost in a new game, connect with those game's characters, and basically fall in love again. With others, can't just let go just yet. Luckily with games, most often you can replay it in a different difficulty, and sometimes there are spin-offs, different versions, or sequels of the game that are set in the same world with the same characters. When I finished the game well over a year ago, I chose to move on, but that wasn't enough. On the 21st of July 2022, I finished Persona 5. Not Royal, but the regular Persona 5. That difference is important for this very video. Anyways, this game captivated me like no game did before it. I became attached to every single character, I absolutely loved the world and the palaces, and I felt like I was Joker, fighting with my friends against our enemies. Spending time getting to know each other whenever we could, which I guess is the point of a silent protagonist in this sort of game. During the 120 hours I spent playing this game, yes, the game is roughly about 100 hours, I had built all of these parasocial relationships with nearly every character, except Ichigo. Oh yeah, I guess I really didn't care about her at all. Upon finishing this game, I leaned back into my chair and relived all the memories I have over and over again, not wanting to accept the fact that it was over. I don't really cry often, but in that moment, my eyes started watering and there was nothing I could do to stop that. As soon as the credits were rolling, I felt empty, unable to do something else. So I just sat there, staring at the TV until the credits were done, until finally understanding that it was done and turning off my PlayStation. So I said I moved on to play something else after that, and I sort of did. 2 days after finishing Persona 5, I started playing Red Dead Redemption 2, which is also a game I love. In this game you play as Arthur, a cowboy traveling with his band of outlaws, trying to keep their way of living in 1899 United States of America. It truly is a great game with a great story and great characters. But the whole time while playing it, I couldn't help but think of Persona. Even after finishing Red Dead Redemption 2, I didn't feel as empty as when I finished Persona because my heartache from Persona hadn't healed yet, which meant that it couldn't be fully broken again. After Red Dead Redemption 2, I gave Horizon Zero Dawn a go. But after playing that game for about 10 hours, I just couldn't take it anymore. I needed more Persona, no matter what, so I did what any sensible person would do and moved on. No, I didn't. I bought Persona 5 Royal and did all of it all over again. Persona 5 Royal is largely the same game as Persona 5, but it has some quality of life updates and added content, like 99% of that content slotting in right at the end of the game, meaning that instead of the 120 hours I spent playing Persona 5, I spent around 140 hours playing Persona 5 Royal, but every single minute was worth it. I started playing Persona 5 Royal just 3 weeks after finishing Persona 5 on the 10th of August 2022. and I finished it on the 1st of September, meaning that I finished Royal in 23 days. And that means on average I played this game for over 6 hours every single day for that period of time. Oh my god, I knew that I was addicted to this game, but like seeing how obsessed I was is a little bit shocking. I won't go into what this game is all about. I'll just say that Persona 5 Royal is my favorite game I have ever played. It is a game that probably isn't for everyone. I think plenty of people might be pushed away by the enormous amount of playtime this game requires, or maybe by the turn-based combat, or even the anime art style. But I would recommend this game to anyone. So if you are on the fence, this right here is your sign to play it. Okay, enough on that tangent. When I finished Persona 5 Royal, I once again felt that feeling of emptiness. But this time, just a little less. It was more of a feeling of gratefulness. I was grateful that I was able to spend more time with my virtual friends and live with them in their world for a little longer than I originally thought when finishing Persona 5. And yes, if you're wondering, I ended up playing Persona 5 Strikers eventually as well, which is a different type of game, but also acts as some sort of sequel to Persona 5, and it's just great. Persona games are amazing. This feeling of sadness can happen with any game, but for me, it's most often longer games, as I get to spend a lot of time with all these characters and get to know all of them. I mean, as of right now, I'm still playing Final Fantasy 16, and I can already tell that as soon as I finish that game, it's going to be that feeling all over again. But on rare occasions, it's with shorter games as well, like with Undertale. Undertale only took me 7 hours to finish, but as soon as I saw the ending of that game, it was definitely in my field. Some stories just really get my attention and allow me to dive in and fall into the world. But the further I fall, the harder I land. The Persona games get to play with my heart the most for some reason. I mean, I even played Persona 4 Golden last June, and it was heartbreak all over again. Now I'm patiently waiting for Persona 3 Reload instead of buying Persona 3 Portable, because I already know that if I buy Persona 3 Portable, it will be the same case as with Persona 5, and I'm just not ready for that. Of course, there are other games that cause this feeling in me. Finishing Tears of the Kingdom, for example, this year made me feel empty inside as well. And the sadness sucks in the moment, but I guess it's also a sensation we gamers look for. I want a game to play with my emotions and take me for a journey. I want a game to pick me up, make me feel like I'm on top of the world, only to throw me back down and not offer me a place on the floating door as my world is sinking in the ocean. Not sure where the Titanic reference came from, but I guess I'm rolling with it. Looking back on the gaming experiences I've had up until now, feeling sad after finishing a game is a good thing. It means that I really love the time I had playing said game and don't want to part with it just yet. It's what separates good games from great games. And yes, this is going to sound a bit weird, but every time I play a new game, I guess I want to get my heart broken once again. Because feeling that sadness is way better than finishing a game and feeling nothing at all. That sadness will eventually turn into happiness. I would love to hear all of your stories in the comments below, and don't worry, I even got a bit emotional writing this script, so if you do feel a bit sad when typing your response, don't worry, it's completely normal. Subscribe to my channel for more content. I have more videos in this documentary storytelling kind of style, like this one right here, that you can click on if you want. And I also plan to make a lot more of these kind of videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye!